Hello and welcome to another Premier League videocast from us at Easy Odds. I'm here with the mad dog Ross Casey.
Yep, hello Jake.
He's been on profit all week in the Champions League and Europa League.
Yep, happy days.
Absolutely happy days. But this is where the real action is. We don't care about all this European nonsense.
Domestic action.
Yeah, foreign, no thanks. We'll stay with the Premier League, thank you very much. Domestic action. Start off an absolutely huge game at the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Couldn't be bigger, in fact, between Norwich and Sunderland. Let's get started.
Absolutely, yeah. Huge relegation clash between Norwich and Sunderland. Norwich 31 points at the moment, up against Sunderland, who've got a game in hand on them, but are only 4 points behind on 27 points. So that's the reason that I see this match as being a must-not-lose for Norwich. People will be saying that it's a must-win game, but I don't actually see that as the case. I just think that they just need to keep ahead of Sunderland. So I don't think that they need to go out fully for the win here, and I think that tactically they probably shouldn't. They should just keep it pretty tight up against Sunderland, and that's the reason that I think 29-20 on a Norwich win isn't great value in my opinion. They've been okay recently, but I think the draw here of 47-20 is far better value. Norwich on the back of a run of just one loss in 4 games, while Sunderland have won just one of the last 11 matches. However, they do draw a lot of games, Sunderland. They're quite a hard team to beat, as even Leicester found out recently. Top League Leicester, it was a hard-fought victory over Sunderland.
Even Leicester, you think you'd be saying that last
I know.
Even Leicester can't beat Sunderland. Oh my god, even Leicester.
Yeah, Sunderland have actually drawn 4 of their last 5 matches, such as how often they do draw games.
Yeah.
I think a draw here is a pretty decent price, 47-20, best price there, Jake.
Yeah, brilliant. Absolutely spot on. I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be a 0-0 draw, actually.
0-0 draw,
Yeah,
there you go.
I think it'll be a or draw.
That's why we love the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we've got Chelsea versus Man City, and I think you found a quite interesting price that people might be a bit surprised about.
Of course, yeah. I think you're alluding to the fact that Kevin De Bruyne is actually a bigger price to score than Eden Hazard in this game.
How?
Two players with very differing seasons. Somehow the Belgian on Man City's team is a better price than on the Chelsea team.
How? I
Can't quite figure that one out, but that isn't my tip. Although you can get a best price of 3-1 on a Kevin De Bruyne goal, which is really, really good price. But I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be actually playing in this game, because I don't exactly know how seriously they're actually going to be taking the Premier League at this point now. Man City, I think it's all about the Champions League for them now.
Put him as my captain, in fact.
Oh god. I'm not saying that he won't, definitely won't start the game, but I can see him being benched for this game and maybe coming on a bit later in the game. But I do think that 8-5 on Chelsea here is a really bad price. I just can't understand how they're favourites to win here. They've won just 2 of the last 8 at Stamford Bridge, which is crazy when you think of the Jose Mourinho years gone by. Not this season, but of years gone by where they were just incredible at home. Win, maybe draw one. Win.
Yeah.
But this season, not so much. They've been pretty poor. They're in 10th place at the moment, and they're up against a Man City team who are pretty decent at the moment. They've come back to their usual ways after a pretty poor spell, which has pretty much cost them their Premier League title push. I would suggest. I think they're too far out of it now. I'm certainly ruling them out. But I do think that the draw no bet market is the way to go here. Just basically backing Chelsea not to win the game. You'll get your stake returned for a draw, or your even money back for a Man City win, which I think is pretty decent price, to be honest. Mangala and Otamendi are starting to finally show their worth at the back. They're much more tighter at the back. Joe Hart's back to his cocky best. Really enjoyed his performances against PSG. I thought he was really on top of his game. Whereas Chelsea, when they have a hand, just can't seem to want the season to end as soon as possible. Really, I'm going to gloss over the fact that they beat Aston Villa recently because everyone beats Aston Villa. But apart from that, they've been pretty average really throughout. They lost at Swansea last weekend, and as I said earlier in the piece, 2 wins out of 8 at Stamford Bridge gives me no implication to back them at 8-5 to beat a pretty decent Man City team.
No, I agree. I agree that Man City are going to win, definitely. What about Kevin De Bruyne to score and Man City to win?
Well,
Maybe
what
that's
about it?
I got a good tip in this last week. I tipped Atletico to beat Barcelona.
You did, yeah. There you go.
There you go. I should be doing that. I should be set there. Are they going to do it? Leicester versus West Ham. It looks like they are going to do it now. I mean, it'll be a huge upset if they didn't win the Premier League, which is weird. But yeah, can they get past West Ham and Andy Carroll and his hair?
This is Andy Carroll's hair. This is a pretty interesting match for me. It's two teams that have won me quite a lot of money this season because Leicester, throughout the whole season, even though they've been top of the league, winning matches left, right, and centre, the bookies have still been making them odds against 6-5 at home against West Brom. Well, they didn't actually win that game. 6-5. Against while they were away in that game, but they were still odds against. But the top of the league and a top of the league side playing West Ham away shouldn't be odds against. And finally, the bookies have realised, and they've actually made them 19-20 this time. So they are odds on.
Only just though.
Only just. But they've just been amazing. They've only won. They've only lost once in the last 10 games. They're a force to be reckoned with. They're just keeping clean sheets so much at the moment. They just don't concede goals at all. They're just really, really good at the back. Wes Morgan, in particular, imperious at the back with his strength and his height and his just will to win is amazing. Really impressed with him this season. 5 clean sheets in a row now, which is just really, really good, and that will keep them pretty much guaranteed their Premier League title with 3 more clean sheets, and that's pretty much it, really, isn't it? So yeah, 19-20 is actually pretty decent value to beat West Ham. West Ham have won just 3 of the last 15 away games, which is pretty amazing stat, really, because at the start of the season, away from home, they were blitzing people left, right, and centre, including teams like Man City and Arsenal on the first day of the season, if you remember back that far. Whereas I think Leicester here to actually win the game, 19-20 is a pretty decent price. Of course, the key here for me personally is the fact that West Ham played a pretty gruelling match in midweek up against Man United, so they played 90 minutes of pretty frantic football in that game, and they're going to be pretty tired from that, whereas Leicester have had all week to sit back and watch the brilliant football that's been on in midweek, and hopefully they'll be involved. Well, they will be involved now because they're guaranteed Champions League place. So
it's going to be awesome.
I think it all points towards a home win here. Best price 19-20.
That's going to be awesome. Leicester in the Champions League. I can't wait. Mahrez, Vardy in the Champions League.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leicester, hope they get Barcelona or something. That'd be amazing.
That would be incredible. What a story.
What a story. London derby next. Finish off. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Arsenal sort of a squeak at the title. I mean, they're not completely out of it. Crystal Palace are in terrible form. Absolutely terrible there. Oh man, we looked at their form earlier and it was kind of embarrassingly bad.
Don't look at the form table, Eagles fans. So here, Jake, I'm going to go for Arsenal to win 2-0 at best price at 6-5. Arsenal have let in just 10 goals at home in the Premier League, which I was pretty surprised at when I read that stat. And they made absolutely short work of Watford last time out at home, beating them 4-0. Whereas Palace are pretty much safe from relegation now, after picking up 5 points in the last 3 games. They're pretty much safe. Not got anything to really play for. Plus, they've got an absolutely awful record at the Emirates. They've lost their last 4 in a row going to the Emirates. So I think backing an Arsenal win to 0 against an out of sorts Palace side is a pretty decent price at 6-5. It could be an interesting bet here as well. With I always like to try and point out in my eagle eye piece on site the kind of differentiation of prices on our odds comparison grids for anytime scorers in particular, because they seem to just be insane value. And I found one here which is Mertesacker pair per whatever you want to say. He's a worst price 6-1 in our odds comparison service. Best price 16-1. That's almost trebling your odds there.
That's crazy.
And he is a threat from set pieces, as we've seen just last night. Lovren and Sacco both
what a game.
Both scoring from set pieces, and there's no reason that Arsenal can't do the same. Mertesacker available there at 16-1, which is a bit of a punt thrown in, but the best bet is Arsenal to win to 0, best price 6-5.
Brilliant. So let's quickly run through them for everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. So my tips for this week are a draw in the Norwich game against Sunderland, 47-20. Man City draw no bet against Chelsea, best price of evens. And then we move on to Leicester to beat West Ham at 19-20, and Arsenal to win to 0 at best price of 6-5. Throw those into and accumulate, and you'll get around about 14-1, which I'm pretty happy with.
That's amazing, 14-1. That's a lot of money.
There we go.
For the Saturday night.
Yep.
My Saturday night. Oh wait, no. When's the Arsenal game? Is that Sunday?
Yeah, that's Sunday.
Okay,
but,
Sunday.
But, you know,
if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah.
If you're crazy and you want to go to a rave on a Sunday, why not?
Yeah. But yeah, so that's Ross Casey, the Mad Dog, with his picture this week. Remember to use our article comparison service. Remember to sign up, download the app. We've got a new Royal Ascot app coming out for all you horse racing fans. I'll have my tips up on site for Saturday in a few hours, probably in the next hour actually.
Yep.
For Scottish Grand National. But yeah, I've been Jake Johns. This is
Mad Dog Ross Casey.
the Mad Dog Ross Casey.